What's up? Hey everybody. It's George Mossey. The Other Way aired. So we just watched The Other Way. We only got an hour again. So we're gonna jump in and just dissect this episode. I did watch some of The Last Resort. Not all of it, but I did watch some of it. It was not on Max. So I had to watch it on TV, which I don't like doing. So I got 20 minutes left. I had to end it. I had to stop watching. But we're going to get into The Other Way first, though. So waiting on Cara. Oh, Cara's here. I'm not waiting on Cara. Cara. This episode. What's up, Mark? What's up, little mama for kids? What's up, Leanne? Hello, everyone. All right, I accepted you, Cara. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
You look
Glad to be back.
great. You look great.
I feel much better.
I'm so glad. We were hoping that you would be back and better as soon as possible, and you are. So
here I am.
Exactly what we asked for, right? I'm glad.
Where's Miss Dee Dee? There she is.
There she is. Dee Dee's here. Request me Dee. Oh, there you go. Dee Dee. Mark, yeah, Disney. I was actually at SeaWorld yesterday, Mark. Just kind of, it was really busy though, so I left early, but
I
was
saw
at
you
SeaWorld.
with Elmo. I'm a little disappointed you didn't take
Hello. How y'all doing?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good.
So this episode aired, it was an hour long again, but we got a decent amount. So there's a lot to get into. So I don't know if we want to start with Shekinah, because we met Berto, and we found out that Berto is 27 years older than Shekinah. And he was living in, I'm going to get this wrong, Italy?
Yeah. No, he's Italian. He was living somewhere else.
Right.
In the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
He bought a hotel in Dominican Republic.
And they have a daughter together who's 15, and apparently she was in boarding school. So, hey, Rachel. So I'm really worried about the daughter because the dad has been absent because of his business endeavors, and then her mom has kind of been absent too because she's in boarding school. And now I'm worried because now they're kind of switching places. I don't like that. I want the parents to just be there, both of them at the same time for the child. I feel like they both have more important priorities, which really bothers me.
A comment that she made that kind of pissed me off was she said he moved back to America. Now he can parent, essentially. Like, it's his turn because I've done it this long. Well, she's 15. She needs her mom now more than ever. Teenagers are tough.
Yeah, she needs both parents. I fully agree she needs both parents, but I didn't like how they were kind of handing her off.
Yeah.
It really bothered me, like rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, I don't know why I'm getting so angry. Hey, Ronald. I was getting so angry because I was just like, I don't like how they're trying to like say tag you're it with parental duties. And I was like, this poor child who just needs guidance and love from her parents. And, you know, obviously there's money. You know, boarding school isn't free, but it's been proven through science and through experience, money means nothing when it comes to raising a child. You can raise a child with little to no money, and that child can be successful, smart, and they just need that support. And a lot of times raising a child with a lot of money, we've seen a lot of negative effects on the child and mental health and lots of different issues that money can bring. So I just disliked how it seemed like, well, I just want to live and be happy, so you can take her now. And I just want to be like, I just really dislike that. It really like bothered me. I was just like, I don't like this. And I'm not saying that Shekinah's not entitled to be happy. A mother is a woman, and women are entitled to be happy either way. But I just didn't like how being a parent was kind of secondary to what she had going on. And same with Berto. Being a parent was just secondary. And I feel like if you're not ready to make that your first priority, you shouldn't be having kids, right?
Exactly. Like he moved off whenever she was born and bought this hotel, was gone for 9 years. And then now he's come back, and now her mom is like handing her over to him, and she's leaving now. So
it just
seems like he was just the financial support behind raising the kid, and that's it.
That is exactly how I felt. So first of all, he was 27 years older than her when they got together, and she was 23 at the time. So I don't know their situation, but the first thing that came to my mind was it looks like she's had a lot of work done. Looks like she lives a pretty lavish lifestyle. It kind of seems like you said, he was the financial backing to the type of life that she wanted. It wasn't necessarily they were in love. It wasn't necessarily that they were soulmates. It was he had the finances that would give her the life she wanted, because he's been absent for so long. And it just, I don't know, she gave me the vibe of she was using his money to live her best life, you know, because he was just like, oh, she normally dates, you know, losers and stupid men and is based on looks or whatever. And I was like, it's painting a picture for me of who she is. Like, I don't want to prejudge her. We just met her, but it's definitely painting a picture. And Sarper, he checks off all the boxes, right? He's this self-centered, arrogant model bodybuilder who thinks that every woman that is alive is just interested in him. Right? Like, I saw someone on Twitter, they put in the comment, they said that Sarper is the male version of Darcy. See, in my opinion, I thought that he was like Jesse, just extra overloaded, right? But no, they're like, no, he's like the male version of Darcy. And I could see the similarities, right? Because Darcy she lives a lavish lifestyle. She's God's gift to men. You know, she's Darcy. Like, I can see the similarities there. And I just wonder if he's really being honest. He said something about 79 days without sleeping with anyone, and apparently for him that's a long time. I was like, well, this guy's not married, right? Because 79 days is like a
well,
week.
you know, I caught that too. He said 79 days that he's only that he has not cheated on her. So the other months that they were together, he was cheating on her, which he admitted that the night after he was intimate with her the first time, she wanted to go to his apartment and he had 2 other women there with him. Like,
he's disgusting.
I was like, what? No.
Yeah, he had 2 women there, and then he said on top of it, he was sick. So he's like, I was really tired from, you know, being with 2 women, and then I didn't even feel good. And he's like, well, if she wants to come over, that's fine. And I was just like, wow, right? Like, wow, you hear yourself talking out loud, like other people can hear you in the room. But it seems like Shekinah's into that type of guy, because that's kind of what Berto said. He was like, she's always chasing after a certain type of man who doesn't respect her, who doesn't seem to have guidance or direction. You know, he's just good looking. So that's all that he has to bring to the table, just being really good looking. So I worry that she's jumping on an airplane after 5 months to go to Turkey to be with this guy, leaving her daughter behind, mind you, who already is in boarding school. And she said, oh, she gets 5 weeks. Wait, every 5
She goes to school for 5 weeks and then is off for 1 week.
Yeah, okay. So she said that she would always come back and spend that week with her. So how do you guys feel about that? Is that doing enough? Is that doing enough?
No.
So what about like programs? Because I know even in boarding school, there are times the parents need to come and see what the children are doing. So that means that she just won't be going to those because she wouldn't be in the
I guess she'll send Berto.
Yeah, the dad's there. It's fine.
I don't know. This really pissed me off. Like, I know they're
And
new.
you don't realize how expensive that's going to be flying back and forth from Turkey to the U.S. Like, I'm pretty sure it's expensive.
I'm pretty sure that's where Berto comes in.
Yep.
Right? I'm pretty sure he's been financing her life, because she didn't really necessarily say she works. She's like she shows up and she helps plan parties. Yeah. So that's kind of what she does. They pay her to show up and dress nice and make the party look extravagant. Is that a real job? I don't know. I don't live in LA, so I don't know what they do in LA. If that really is a job, I kind of want it. Like, if you pay me to go to a party.
We need to move to LA.
Yeah, like, I kind of want it. Like, I'm not hating on her.
I think us 3 together, we can work together and we can throw some hell of a parties.
Right? Like, I feel like if you want to pay me, I can make the party real nice. Okay, like I'll make it really nice. If she's really making that much. Oh, so Mark says it's probably going to be about $2,000 per trip. And Mark would know. Mark, I think we were talking and you told me that you're hitting close to 1,000,000 miles for your travel. So Mark would know. So $2,000 every 5 weeks. That's going to add up a lot. And she wouldn't be able to do these party jobs if she's in another country. So where would this money be coming from? Like, I have a lot of questions. Because I'm saying that Sarper isn't rich, but I'm not saying that he is. Like, he hasn't shown anything that he's going to have thousands and thousands of dollars just to hand to her so she can come back and forth to the U.S. So I just have a lot of questions. And I know my first mind is Berto is gonna be the one paying for this because she's gonna say, well, I'm coming back to the U.S. for our child, so you should fund that because it's not for me, it's for our daughter. So I feel like that's the story she's gonna go with.
Well, I'm sure he's paying her child support, and she doesn't appear to be the kind of person that just dumps it all on her kid.
No, I can see that. I can see. I mean, I get that boarding school isn't free, but I know there's gonna be a lot of money left over.
Yep.
When you're not feeding, housing, and taking care of everyday life for a child, there's a lot of extra money there because the boarding school is housing her, feeding her. There's like a lot of money going into that, but there's actually a downfall because when you don't have to do those things on a daily basis and the school is doing it for you, there's a lot of free time, there's a lot of extra money. And I feel like she's definitely taking full advantage of that. And I feel like there's nothing wrong. Like her daughter's 15. Like if she could just wait 3 years, I would be less hard on her. Yeah. Like if she could wait until her daughter finished school, and I know 18 does not make you an adult. Yeah. First of all, let's make that perfectly clear. 18-year-olds are not adults. They still need their parents. I think up until like 25 to 28, if you're a man, 30, you still need your parents, right? Like I think that it's very important that they're physically there, but I would respect her more if she waited until her daughter was at least finished with school before she jumped ship and left the country. Yeah. Like that's just on me.
But another thing that pissed me off about Sarper is he said he does bachelorette parties because he's this exotic dancer. He does bachelorette parties, and he was sleeping with half of the women, he said, half of the brides. So you're sleeping with people that are engaged, and that's okay. This guy has no morals. None.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
He even said that he hasn't been faithful to anyone in 43 years.
Morals are completely out of the question for him. Like he's literally, well, the first thing I thought when we were meeting him tonight was, how is he going to be in a relationship with a person other than himself? Yeah. Because he's so self-centered. He's so self-righteous. He's so obsessed with himself and how he looks and how his body is and how his testosterone, I can't say it. Say it. Testosterone. Okay. Testosterone is higher than other men. Like he's just so, I was like, how can you think of anything other than yourself long enough to be in a relationship, let alone get married? Because even his best friend, he was like, she's coming here to live with you. And because you would have to change everything about yourself and how you live to make this work. Because if she saw what you're really doing here, she would never want to be with you. So he claims that he's actually going to be a better man. And that's easier said than done. You have to see that. And I think that she's going to get over here and realize that she's made the same mistake that she's made with every guy.
He even admitted it tonight that he didn't even know if he was even going to be able to be faithful to her.
I just had to look, but it looks like round trip ticket to Istanbul, Turkey is for the cheapest. It's about $1,300. So if you're going to do that every 5 weeks, then you got to have a place to stay because obviously you gave up your house in America. Yeah. I mean, that's absurd.
I know, it seems crazy to me to even think of it as an option. Like, in my opinion, she should just say, we can continue dating online until she graduates and then make plans from there. And it's like, because if she's in college, that's a different thing. College is meant to teach the children to be independent and take care of themselves. So you can be afar. There's plenty of parents who are states away. I mean, still, at the drop of a dime, you have to be there for your child. Though. But you can be states away and still be parenting that person from afar. I think Turkey is too far to parent anyone. You know, like that's just craziness. It's out of the realm of my thought process of being a good parent and being so far away for a child who's not an adult yet, like legally or mentally.
Never leave my kids. My kids are adults. They're grown adults. And I still can't imagine going to another country and just not being within a flight of them. I mean, a quick flight. But I just can't. I can't imagine.
I mean, my daughter told me a while ago, she was like, Mom, we got lights. You know, they live in Valdosta. Valdosta was one of the places that got hit the worst. I was like, no, I don't want you to leave. Yeah. So, no, stay here with me. So I couldn't know. And then Turkey is how many thousands of miles away? No.
Oh, yeah. How long was that flight that you looked up? Is it like a 12, 15? Like, how long are we even looking at? I'm sure it'll be days, right? Anytime you go.
17 hours and 45
Oh,
And
minutes.
wow.
that's flying.
That's
That's
flying.
flying.
That's
Right.
fine.
That's it's insane. So if her daughter needed her, it would be a minimum of a day. And, you know, depending on when you could leave, that she could be there. It's just unfathomable, right? Like, if your child needs you,
What
you want to be there in
state
hours.
in? What state is she in?
She's in Los
Yeah,
Angeles, right?
she's in Los Angeles, California.
It's
It's that's in kilometers. It is 6,861 miles.
oh my gosh.
Wow.
I don't even know how to fathom that. Honestly,
I
I don't even know how to fathom that. Anything over like 1,000 miles, it's beyond my thought process, right? Like
That's
it's
like
beyond.
going. Yeah, that's like me driving to California, coming back, and then going back again, and then halfway back.
That's crazy.
No, oh my gosh. And that's in the air. Going no. See, I'm not afraid of flying, but I don't like to fly over bodies of water because you guys know my fear of swimming. I can't swim. But like the idea of being on an airplane, because I look at it as the longer you're in an airplane, the more likely something can go wrong. Like the longer you're in. So like a quick hop, an hour or two, I'm good. But like once we start getting into like 4, 5, 6, 7 hours in the air, I get a little nervous every time I hear a clank. Or the plane jerks a little bit, and I'm looking out the window, the wings shaking a little bit. I'm like, see, we've been in the air too long. This plane is about to, like, no, we need to go down, right? Like, we need to be in there too long. No, let's do a layover somewhere. Let's fix the plane. Yeah. So I can't even imagine.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's a lot.
So Kimberly and TJ were back, and apparently TJ's mother has a strong hatred towards Kimberly, which so do we, I guess. Like it's not really news, but she's definitely not taking well to the way that she acted when she got there. You know, she showed her ass, she acted crazy, she was yelling, she was screaming, she was complaining, and now she's going through the backlash of her nasty behavior. And not only does TJ's mom dislike her, his brother dislikes her, and they just don't see the way that she's going to be added to the family in a positive way. And I think she's made it very clear she doesn't want to be a part of the family. She kind of just wants to go in, raise hell, make things horrible, and then every time she sees that they're angry or fighting, what pisses me off, she gets up and walks in the other room. Like it reminds me of, I don't know what movie it was, where the person who, they take a match and they start the fire, and as the things behind them were blowing up, they just walk away like they weren't there. That's what she reminds me of. Like, she starts this humongous explosion, this big fight, and then she gets up and walks away. She watches everybody else retaliate against each other, but acts like she's not a part of it. And I think that was the issue that got me, because I was like, every time the fights start because of her, she wants to get up and go in the other room, because she's like, well, I don't like this. They're talking about me. I was like, but you started. They're talking about you because of your behavior. You have a lack of respect for them, a lack of respect for their culture, a lack of respect for their family in general as a unit. Like, you came in and you were disrespectful, and you talked to the brother. Like, I mean, I understand that the respect level between women and men are different in that culture. You know, women are always supposed to be subservient. You know, they're supposed to respect the men, take care of the men. I get that there's a disconnect there because she's from America. We don't always, you know, behave that way. A lot of women look at it as, I'm your equal. If I want to tell you you're an asshole, I'm going to tell you you're an asshole. You know, but in the country she's in, that's not acceptable. Yeah. She's definitely not supposed to talk to people that way, especially not men. She's especially not supposed to disrespect her husband in front of his family. And I feel like in her mind, she can just do whatever the hell she wants. She's one of those, like, she's like an Ariella. You know, she would go to another country and just act like however she wants and not care that the culture there doesn't accept it, because she's like, well, I'm an American. I can do whatever the hell I want because I'm an American. And you're not in America, though.
Yep, she's a terrible person, but she's also a terrible driver. Like,
yes!
Everything in me just left my body when she was driving. I get that driving in India is horribly scary. Yeah. I've watched a ton of videos that Jenny and Sumit have posted where they're driving, and there really is just like no stop signs and no street lights and no rules, no blinkers, no nothing. But it's not rocket science that you're not supposed to hit another fucking car. Like,
I knew that I knew it was gonna be an issue when before she put the car in gear to drive, she was like, I can do this.
Yes.
And I was like, see,
No, you can't.
if you have to have a pep talk with yourself beforehand, you probably can't do it. And I'm not like, I was just, well, I didn't know, because when TJ looked and he was like, are you sure? And he was really nervous to get in the car. I was like, can she not drive? I was like,
they're
acting
walking to the car and she says, I want to drive. She's walking and he says, other side. You don't even know what side of the car to get into, for crying out loud.
I didn't catch that. So she was still probably,
Yeah.
you should have let her get in the passenger side and then just drove.
Yeah.
Like, I felt bad for him because he was like, my car. Because when they showed the damage she did. Also, she hit that buggy and kept going.
Yeah.
You don't have to stop and like exchange. It's like she never stopped, didn't make sure that everybody was okay. She was just like, did I hit that? And then just kept going. I was like, what the actual hell is going on?
It was I'm an insurance agent. It's a different level of anxiety for me. I'm watching this going, oh my God, nobody's ever going to insure her.
But did y'all get that? Did y'all get the creepy feeling from like a horror movie whenever she was driving and she turned her head and she's like, see, I can drive?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I was like, whoa, that's, what the hell was that?
I was scared because, well, when she
That was
got
a
in
horror
and she was like,
movie.
I can do this. And the look on TJ's face was just terror. He was just like, because, you know, I know people where when I get in the car with them, I know this might be the last time that I'm alive. There are people that I know, and I avoid at all costs getting in the car with these people as much as possible. But sometimes it's unavoidable. Like sometimes I have to get in the car with him, even just for a short distance. And I think that was the look that was the feeling I got from him. He was like, this might be my last day on the earth. He's like, I'm getting in the car with her. And he's like, are you sure you want to try to drive? Are you sure you can do this? She's like, I can do this. And I was like, see, that got, when you said it, like you weren't sure, like you were just trying to prove to him you couldn't. That's not good enough for me. Like I need to know that you can do it. And she said the only rule there is you can't hit a cow, because you know cows are considered very high in spiritual worth. And I was like, well, what about people?
Yeah.
What about people?
I feel like this girl just needs to go home. Leave this poor family alone.
Well,
like I don't like his brother. I think his brother is a complete douche canoe. Complete.
Oh yeah.
But man, I would probably act worse than his brother if I had to be face to face with this girl. She is awful.
Well, I think the brother is probably a decent guy. I think just her that brings the bad out of him. Because it's like every time I see him, as long as he's interacting with her, he's acting crazy. But I was like, she makes him crazy. Because I remember in the one scene where she was screaming and acting crazy, and then when TJ got there, she sat there and pretended like she was calm and respectful. And he was like, do you see how she's acting like she has manners? She doesn't have any damn manners. And I think she pushes his buttons and she gets under his skin because she acts crazy. And then when everyone is in the room, she acts like she's the victim and he's attacking her. And I think that really gets under people's skin when they know that you're trying to make it seem like they're a horrible person and manipulating other people into believing that they're the problem when you're the problem. Oh, we have to talk about the fact that she was showing her knees in front of TJ's dad. So I was watching it and I was like, so the mom was like, she needs to put on some clothes because she's showing her knees. What if her husband? I was like, well, put your husband in his place. If you catch your husband looking at women's knees, smack his ass, right? Like, that's what the American woman would do, right?
You make your freaking husband sleep on the floor for 20 years in a different room. Who gives a shit who he's looking at? Like,
I mean, if he's looking at any knees, maybe he hasn't seen any knees in, 20 years?
Yeah.
Maybe he just wants to see what a knee looks like.
He hasn't seen nothing in 20 years.
Right. Because I was like, you mean to tell me that this woman needs to go put on pants or a dress because he might catch a glimpse of her ankle?
Yeah.
It's like, is that really the culture over there? And I was like, and if your husband is out there staring at other women, that's your hand across his face, right? Like, as a wife, if you catch him staring at other women, you smack his ass.
Yeah.
Don't ever, if he thinks that that's okay, I know, so I don't want to victim blame, but like, if he thinks that that's okay, I feel like the wife needs to show him that's not okay.
Yep.
Because a man will do what you permit him to do.
Yeah.
As a wife and as a woman. Women, you have to control your men. Men are very trainable. They're like puppies. You know, you get a man, you train him the right way, he will do what he's supposed to do. But if you let him get away with peeing on the floor every now and then, you're gonna have to clean piss off the floor. You know, so I think in that circumstance, I forgot about the culture, and I was just like, you gotta smack your husband. If you catch him looking at some younger woman's angle, smack him. That is not okay in any culture, right? Like, I don't know any American woman who's gonna sit in a room and let her husband stare at some girl's legs and not smack him across the head, right? Like, that's just any culture for me.
Yep.
Nope, that's a punch in the face and a kick in the balls.
Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, that was crazy to me because I was like,
Kimberly's just so clueless altogether. So she's in the stairs crying, and she says, "I hate this. I feel like it's all my fault." It is your fault, you stupid idiot.
It is. That's what I was saying. I was screaming at my TV. I was like, "It is your fault."
Then she's talking about her dream wedding. She wants a dream wedding in a forest with candles. Like, what could go wrong?
I don't know. Like, burning down the entire state, maybe. Like, I don't know. We have laws against lighting any type of fire in the forest at this point, right? It doesn't even matter what country you're in. We are losing cities in a whole to fire. So I was like, Kimberly, it's probably best that they're not going to let you light anything in the forest because and then in her mind, she'd be like, well, I didn't mean to burn down that city, but I'm an American, so it should be fine.
I didn't know that trees burn. That's so weird. Nobody ever told me. Just like I didn't know I could hit a freaking car and keep driving.
Oh, she knew because she didn't even think about pulling over. Because I was like, is she going to slow down and make sure the people in that buggy were okay? She just kept going. She kind of like swerved over a little bit and sped up. And I was like, she's hit something before.
She was acting like the Exorcist driver or something.
Right.
I mean,
I was like,
did I just hit that?
This isn't the first time that she sideswiped somebody because she was like, oh, wait, did I just hit them? Let me speed up a little bit. I don't know if they noticed. I was like,
oh my God.
Pull over and make sure nobody's dead. You don't just keep going. That's normal etiquette. I don't care what country you're in. If you hit somebody with your car, pull over and make sure that they're okay.
Yep. She's horrible. Gosh, she's horrible.
She is not no clairvoyant. Who just said that? Miss Donna. That girl ain't no clairvoyant. She ain't nothing.
She claims
she is no clairvoyant. No.
She claims she's clairvoyant and that she can understand and see. She has nailed it every time that the situation was her fault. She's like, I feel like it's my fault. She's good at that. She knows when she causes shit, it's her fault. She can see that. She just doesn't take responsibility or accountability for what she did.
And she's talking about her spirit guides be telling her this and that and everything. What kind of spirit guides she got? Because every time she says that spirit guides tell her everything is fine, everything blows up.
Yeah, you're right. Nothing has been fine since she got there. Like, the whole time she's been there, she has caused complete chaos in these innocent people's lives. And her family hasn't even arrived yet. So the craziness hasn't even started. I feel like it's going to get worse as we go along because once her family gets there, imagine this is her and how she acts. Her family is who raised her to be this way. So imagine several Kimberlys at the same place at the same time. It's going to be complete chaos. And I'm just waiting for them to show up for the wedding and blow up the whole spot, right? They're going to make the whole situation 500 times worse. Do you think that they're going to actually get married? Because that was my question. Because we saw in the preview that she was pissed. Really?
Yeah.
They do. I think a preview where she was, if I'm not mistaken, she was on the stage in her dress, and one of the family members, if I'm not mistaken, don't hold me to this, was saying how she was thinking that she was the queen, that she was above everybody. Yeah.
Oh, so she was crazy even at the wedding. Okay. I mean, I was curious. It seems like TJ is very much interested in being married to her. He has stood up to his family. He's basically told them to stop, interfering or whatever. But I don't understand how, because in his culture, the family is always going to be a part of what he's doing. They're always going to be interfering. They're always he's trying to live with them forever. So it's like,
but we can't forget, guys. Remember that TJ said that as soon as they get married, that's when he's spilling everything to her. He's still holding secrets. Remember that.
Well, can't wait for that bomb to go off.
She might get on a plane to leave, which will probably be the best thing that happen to anybody in India,
Yeah.
not just TJ and his family, the whole country in general. That would be the best thing to happen to everybody. Like if she just goes back to where she came from, you know, that would be best for everyone. Okay, so Julio has decided that in no immediate future time, he will be moving to the Netherlands. And I think that Kirsten is, hey, Kimbali. I think that Kirsten is really pissed off because she made plans for their life together. They looked at apartments. Well, she looked at apartments. He wasn't there. And she was making plans. And then his mom obviously had a very strong effect on him. And he's decided that he doesn't really want to leave. Now, people on Twitter think that he used her to be on the show and he never actually wanted to go. Are y'all getting that feeling? Because he was kind of laughing at 100%. Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
His mom didn't.
Glad somebody else thinks it besides me.
So, yeah, so everybody on Twitter were like, he never had any intentions of going to the Netherlands to live. That was never an option. They said that he used her again on the show because they said that the way that he was talking to her and he was so dismissive. Like, he was talking and he was like, can we just be done? Can we just break up? And he was just so nasty and dismissive. They were like, it seemed very premeditated. Like he had planned this all along. Like she's literally crying and he's laughing. And when she acknowledged that he was laughing, he was still like, can we just be done? Can we be done with this conversation? It was really horrible. Okay, Betsy, I'm going to text you when we're done.
Yeah, because his mom had nothing to do with him staying. He used that as an excuse just because he's an asshole. He's just an asshole. He's a waste of air, waste of TV space. That poor girl, she needs to run like the wind.
So he travels all the time. So what's the difference? Is it a difference between traveling somewhere and moving somewhere? Like what's keeping him in New Jersey? I don't understand because when we met him in the Clue package, he said that he never wanted to live in the US. He never wanted to live in New Jersey. He's more comfortable in other countries. Was that all bullshit?
He's bullshit. Altogether, he's bullshit. He shouldn't even be on this show.
I agree with you because I don't think that he ever had any plans to move there. I would question if he even has a visa to go there, like to stay as a citizen. I think that this was all BS. And the way that he dismissed her feelings and how hurt she was, I was really angry because I was like, the fact that you're making it seem like this is nothing to you. She's literally crying. She's hurt. She's like, well, I want to try to work it out. He's like, can we just be done now? Yeah. Like, can we just end this now? I was like, that really pissed me off. So I was like, you're just acting like her feelings don't matter. You're acting like the shit that you put her through was just a game to you. Because I was like, you could at least apologize and show some sympathy. You don't have to change your mind, but you could show some sympathy and compassion for what she's going through. And he wouldn't even do that.
No, not at all. He was mocking her more or less. He's a pile of shit.
Yes.
A whole heaping hot pile?
Hot, steaming, heaping pile of shit.
Yeah, like dinosaur style.
Kimberly to come back from India and be with him because they're both a pile of shit together.
Kimberly and Julio?
Yeah.
I mean,
together.
That it would be very explosive because I feel like, I mean, Julio, he's not going to actually raise his voice. I feel like it might work because Kimberly is going to always be able to control who she's with. And I feel like Julio would just have to go along with it. Yeah. You know, whatever his mom says, he's just going to do it. So, I mean, it could work. It could have that dynamic. So I want to talk about Mary because Mary took Brandon to see the home that was destroyed by the typhoon. Now, we did see some photos where it looked like the home was like completely underwater. Like it was horrible. The devastation was really bad. So Brandon, out of the goodness of his heart, sent between $40,000 and $60,000, which we still to this day haven't figured out how the hell he got. Sent that much money to her family to build a new home, which that's the home they're in now, which we assumed. And I think the issue coming up is he has $306 US left because we know that he arrived with like less than $500, I believe.
He left with $250.
So wait, how did
what's he
get more money than when he left?
Somewhere he made $56.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, when he left, he said, I'm leaving with $250 in my bank account.
So somebody gave him $56. We don't know.
He's already ahead. I don't know why he's panicking.
So the issue is Brandon is looking for ways to help pay the bills. Okay, so I have questions. So I'm just gonna like start at the beginning. Who's been paying the bills since before he got there?
Yep, him.
So he's been paying
According
the
to him.
According to him.
Okay, so he's been paying the bills since before he got there. The grandparents have been living in this house that he bought rent-free. So he wants to ask the grandparents to help contribute in the house that they don't own, that he owns, that it belongs to him. And Mary said that it would be unfair for them to have to contribute to live in the house that he built. What the actual hell does that mean?
Which
they're living.
Is an anxiety attack and a baby fit, just like always.
So basically, she wants him to pay for everything, the house, the bills, everything, and her family live completely free and never have to work again for the rest of their lives. Yep. That's what she wants, right? Am I reading this correctly?
You're reading it very correctly. And sleep with on separate, or we call it separate sides of the bed.
And then
right,
anytime anything brought up, we'll just cry and hyperventilate, and everything's fine. He'll say sorry, and we'll move on.
Oh well, she did offer to make necklaces and sell them. Is she like in third? Is she like in third grade? Because isn't that what little kids do? They make necklaces for their friends.
Yeah.
Let's say best friend on it, like, and you sell them for like a quarter. Like, is she like for real? Is she honestly for real? Does she think that that's gonna actually help? And another question I had: the grandparents have a farm, which they are selling food, making food to eat. Why wouldn't they be contributing to the household? If they're making money on their own and they're living in a house rent-free, meaning that they didn't contribute to the house in any way, why wouldn't they take some of the money that they're making on the farm and
this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking. Why? I think Mary has convinced her grandparents that he has a lot of money.
Okay.
I'm thinking that's what's going on. And if they have to ask for help, then they're going to know the truth that he has no money.
Well,
that makes sense.
The fact that he built this house, it's definitely giving everybody the wrong idea.
Yeah.
Because this house, by standards of this country, is very, very nice.
Yeah.
It's secure. Yeah. It's nice. It has a roof. It has walls. Because it looked like the old house, it didn't really have walls. Like you could still see outside from inside. So this house is like it's a huge step up. It's like they went from a regular community to a gated community. You know, like they definitely took a step up. And I think she's selling it as he's going to come here and make our lives better. But she didn't think her plan through because he can't even work there. Like, how is he's not coming with any money to make their life better. The $200 or $306 isn't going to go very far. Like that might be what, a month worth of, and what are they supposed to do? He can't work because it's going to take a while, because it doesn't matter what country you go to. When you're a new citizen, you have to wait until your citizenship is approved and you get your card. So even if he wanted to make a living, he couldn't. So what did she think was going to happen? She obviously isn't going to work. No. She doesn't want to. Her grandparents already have a job. They have a farm, and it seems to be doing well. He's working on the farm for free, and they won't give any money towards the household that everybody is contributing in. It kind of seems like a situation where they're scamming him to me. Yeah. It has to be. He's in a house that he built. He wants the people that are living in the house to help, and she cries and says no. What the actual hell is going on?
Yeah.
But what bills do they have? I mean, the house, they don't pay for the house.
Electricity. Isn't that like a bill there?
I mean, that could possibly be a bill, but isn't there blackouts every couple of hours, according to her?
I think she exaggerated on how frequent those are. Like, I think there are blackouts, but not like every day. Because he said on the other episode, the whole time he was there wasn't one.
Exactly.
I think she exaggerated a lot on how much she was out.
Exactly.
She was
so
out.
What bills could they be paying?
Oh, internet. Portuguese.
One thing.
Internet.
For the first time ever, I guess I said it last week, but Brandon, I was actually impressed by something he said. She's doing her crybaby bullshit, hyperventilating and all of that stuff. And my grandpa works so hard and he's so old and they paid for my college and da-da-da-da-da. And he says, wait, he didn't pay for your college because you had a scholarship.
I caught that. So that was my next question. Did she ever go to college, or is this all bullshit?
That's all bullshit.
Because he wasn't there there to see it. That was just probably when she was out with whoever this real baby daddy is, right?
Yep.
You don't have to explain where you are when you're in school because that's a get out of jail free card.
Yep.
Because she can say, I can't be on FaceTime with you in class, I'll get in trouble. That's probably when she was with her actual boyfriend, right?
Yeah,
so
the pudding.
Yeah, Jello and pudding.
I think that this is a huge scam. When she started crying and acting crazy when he wanted them to contribute to the household, when there's there's 4 of them, 3 of which aren't his family yet. He bought the whole house, okay? Like the whole house, built it, did everything. I don't think it's asking a lot to have the people who've been living in the house since it was ready, he wasn't even there when it was ready, to contribute something towards the damn house. Like, I think that's not asking a lot. And the fact that she flipped out and was like, it wouldn't be fair for them to help because of all the things they've done for me. I was like, well, it's not fair that he built them the whole damn house. And they won't help. Like, I don't know. Like, it hit me hard because I was like, this house, they are using it and claiming it as their own because they were telling him where he could and couldn't sleep, what he could and couldn't do. And I was like, shouldn't he be telling them what they should be doing? It's his house. Because that was my first thought. When he got there and they were like, well, you can sleep in the room, but you can't have sex. And I'll be like, you can sleep outside because this is my house. Like, I don't care what you think. You can take your shit and go outside. This is my house. I don't care how you feel.
Yep. 100%. Yeah, that is a shit show.
Yeah. And it's all over it's all over social media. I'm not sure if it's true or not because I don't listen to everything or believe everything I see on social media. But apparently his mom got them fired.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's on social media. Yeah, so the mom posted the wedding pictures.
Well, not only the wedding pictures, but of her pregnancy. And Mary also admitted that she was pregnant as well.
Yep.
Well,
because they're doing live TikToks every day. Yeah,
you told me they're on TikTok and they're answering questions about the show, which is a complete violation of their NDA. You can't, like, technically, if someone asks, did you have your baby, you can't say yes or no, because that would be a violation of the NDA because it hasn't happened on the show yet. Even though it happened, you could probably be holding the baby, you still can't answer that. So I'm pretty sure they did violate the NDA because it said that based on that, they would never be filmed with again. Because they were on the TikTok and the mom posted the mom posting those pictures was a violation as well because the mom filmed. So she was under an NDA too. So she wasn't allowed to post those pictures. Anyone who wasn't under an NDA can do whatever the hell they want. But since they all signed it, once your face hits that screen, you are under an NDA and it's pretty strict. You can't talk about the show. You can barely even say you were on it. Like, you really can't do anything. And I'm pretty sure that post said that they were fired after the tell-all. They did film the tell-all. So they're going to be at the tell-all, but anything after that, we won't get. And it's kind of unfair because the most dysfunctional, fun people that we want to watch on Happily Ever After, they keep taking away from us, and I feel like it's not fair. Like, we want to watch the dysfunction.
Well, what about the other ones? What about the other ones? I can give y'all a list. I'm not going to do it right now, but I can give you a list. You guys even know who I'm talking about. They were, while they were still filming, doing their TikToks, doing their Instagram lives and stuff, telling everything, but they didn't get fired. And they were even talking, they were even bad-mouthing the producers and the directors. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Well, did you see the video that Riley put out recently, yesterday or today? It was a behind the scenes where the producers were kind of telling them how to act out the scene, what to say, what to do. That was a blatant violation, not just of the NDA, but just of behind the scenes production. It was a kind of a defamative way to show the show and try to expose the integrity of the show. I don't know how that's going to get handled because doing something like that could land you a legal suit, because the show could come after you for detracting from the integrity of the show. Like, we at home, we know that I learned it on Teen Mom back in the day. They go to the place, the food is already pre-ordered, the conversation is there, they coach them on the scene, and then they say action. Like, I learned that. But, like, to blatantly show it the way that he did, I was like, he's treading on some thin ice.
That's huge HIPAA violation because they're behind the cameras. They're not even supposed to be
Yeah.
on, you know what I'm
They can
saying?
sue
You're
for,
not even
yeah.
supposed to know who is behind the camera.
Yep.
They can sue for their identity
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
put out because they've never signed anything to say that their faces would ever be used. So when
Right.
there was a producer and a camera person in that video, they're never supposed to be without permission, their identities or face be put on TV. So I don't know how that's gonna go. I've heard that Riley did film the tell-all. I heard that he was there, but I heard that he won't be filming anything else with Sharp, and I think that is his decision. I'm pretty sure now it's mutual.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that he's done too, because I read somewhere that he lost his job.
I did too.
From doing the show. Does anyone know what he did specifically?
I don't remember.
I think it was a
Can't
government
remember.
job, but I don't remember. I think it was a government job, right? I know he was in the army, in the military, right?
I think
But I think that he was out of the military, but he was doing some sort of government job. And apparently him doing the show, they let him go, which I didn't even realize could happen because, you know, we've seen lots of different people from different walks of life. I want to say we watched on Love After Lockup, the one guy worked for the FBI or whatever. So it's like, I didn't realize that doing the show could get you fired. So that kind of caught me off guard too.
Probably could be the contract you signed he signed whenever he went on. But I mean, at the end of the day, if they're gonna fire Mary and Brandon, then they need to fire a list of people, because it's like these past couple of seasons, everybody it's like they're attacking TLC instead of, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
So I mean,
there's one couple I really like them personally and on the show. I'm just gonna bring it up, not like negatively, but Juan and Jessica, they did reveal the pregnancy and the baby way before it aired.
Yep.
And I was very surprised by that, and it didn't seem to affect anything with their contract, which I was really confused by, because I was like, we were watching the show and we knew she was pregnant. We knew how far along, and she didn't even announce that she was pregnant on the show. So you're right, they are letting some things slide, and then some things are hitting the fan, and it's really interesting. Like, how do you pick and choose? Like, how do you choose who's going to be punished and who's going to be made an example of and who's not? It's really, I don't know, it's interesting.
So,
the show is really... I
don't really know if he was actually fired, because now it's kind of coming back to me now that I'm reading this, but it says that is the owner of an entertainment company.
Oh, well, he wouldn't have fired himself.
Yeah.
I wonder if the way he was portrayed on the show maybe had a negative effect on his business.
Yeah, possibly, because it says he owns the company.
Yeah, maybe it is cut into his profit. Like, maybe less people are hiring him, or less work or revenue because of the way he was portrayed on the show. I know he's kept saying he didn't like the way he was portrayed on the show. That was like his number one complaint. He said that it made him look like a bad guy. It made him look like he was, aggressive, or whatever. So I wonder if he wasn't fired. I wonder if it was his business is suffering greatly from that. Because when you own an entertainment company, you got to be careful, because if you're representing people, and the way that you look can have a big impact on whether or not people want you to represent them or not. You have to be very careful.
Yep. Yeah, stressful. Oh.
Yeah, Donna, she announced that she was pregnant, and she told her boys on the show, but we found out she was pregnant. I mean, actually, if you weren't following her yet, like, this was pretty early in the season. I follow everybody like right before the first episode airs. So a lot of people might not have caught this, because, you know, when they're new on social media, they don't have as many followers. They're not verified yet. So possibly everybody didn't catch this. But when she did tell her boys and she announced it, I knew about the pregnancy for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
She announced it on Instagram. But again, she didn't have like 10,000 followers then. It was a lot less. So maybe that has an impact on it too. Maybe how many followers you have and if you're verified yet or not matters. Because like, if she wouldn't have announced it now, and she was going to be on another season, that would have made a bigger impact.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when I started following her, I think she only had like 300 or 400 followers.
Yeah.
So maybe it has something to do with not a lot of people saw it, so the storyline wasn't attractive. But, you know, I look for everything.
But
I find
at that, when they had the baby, there was videos of the baby and all of that stuff, and they were still filming.
We didn't know
I mean,
when they announced it was gonna be a boy or a girl, because they did the announcing with his family. We knew it was a boy, and we had already seen pictures on her social media.
Yep.
So it was very strange because normally, like, for instance, I watched Extreme Sisters the last season, and Christina was pregnant and had a baby. And while they were filming and before the new season aired, I didn't see one photo. She didn't post a baby bump. She didn't post a newborn baby, nothing. She stayed off of social media until the episodes started to air. Then all of a sudden we saw her baby. We saw pregnancy photos. Like, she kept it all private, and I thought that was the way you were supposed to do it.
Yeah.
Like, because I even sent her a message. I was like, how did you manage to get pregnant, have a baby, and then your baby be 6 months old and nobody knew? Like, how did you manage that? She's like, oh, I just made sure that I didn't post anything, and when I went out, I didn't, announce where I was going. And I thought that was the way it was supposed to be. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This was a different show. This was Extreme Sisters, Christina and Jessica. Christina's baby at the time, and we think Jessica's pregnant too, but we haven't been able to verify it because they're very good at staying off of social media. I think she is too. I don't know if you guys watched that or not, but it was just an example because the one season ended and she thought she was pregnant, and then the next season began and she had the baby and everything between that, we didn't even know.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm so excited for tomorrow.
Yeah, so I watched the first 40 minutes of but it's not on Max. Nobody told me that. It's not on Max. So I guess I was watching it live, but then I had to stop because I had to do some stuff and set up. So I got 20 more minutes. So this episode tomorrow of The Last Resort, I was thinking of you, Dee. It's very, very vulgar. Wait, Dee, did you watch it before I even say anything? I don't want to ruin it.
I haven't seen it yet.
yes, I watched it.
Let's not talk about it. Let's not talk about it. Leave it for tomorrow. Yeah, let's save it for tomorrow because I didn't realize you haven't seen it yet. So I'm going to watch the ending of it. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to discuss it, and we're going to dissect the episode because it was a lot of fun. Like, this was a lot of fun. Like, it was awkward, but I had a lot of fun watching and listening to the critiques of the couple. So thank you guys for joining us for The Other Way. I think this was episode 9. Am I right? Yeah. 9. We're pretty deep in the season. So somebody told me that there's like 2 more episodes of Before the 90 Days.
Yep. So
we still got a ways to go. Then we got 2 more for the finale. Nobody has announced to me how many are in The Other Way yet. So
looks like 700.
Right. I know. Like, I'm assuming Thanksgiving. I don't know. We're looking pretty far out.
Well, the Last Resort shouldn't last that long. I mean, because they were only there for 2 weeks. So
I'm assuming like 8 episodes. That's usually what a new show gets.
Yeah.
It's 8 episodes, but I don't know. TLC has been doing crazy shit lately. Like, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
so we'll
TLC's going crazy.
All right. Yep. So follow my co-hosts, Cara and Dee. They're tagged in this video. You have to follow me. It's at George Mossey on all social media platforms. GeorgeMossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast, type in The George Mossey Show. Thank you for joining us tonight. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. I will post the time ASAP on my story so everyone knows when to be here. So we can talk about The Last Resort. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to my co-hosts, and we'll talk to all of you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.